All right, welcome to Sunday night. Hope
Oh,
glad you guys could join us and gals. We don't care.
so this thing's
Makes,
lagging.
makes no difference to us. Okay. Copy. Anybody else wants to tell us about your week and what you've done? There we go. There's a link. So Dave and I have just been playing the last 24, 48 hours been playing on cars.
Mechanic.
Yeah, put our mechanic skills to hey North Georgia, pick what's up, flip it good, swamp. So Jacob's car has not been started in at least a year. It's been in the garage for at least a year. Trying to get Jacob motivated and all that stuff. So trying to get the car fixed. So the window is stuck down. So Scott sees in the chat was entertaining me while I pulled the window regulator out of that thing. That was a pain in the ass, by the way. If you've got a Volkswagen EOS and are trying to get the window regulator out, good luck. I got it out, so ordered another one. So hopefully when it gets it, I found something to test it, and it is locked up because it got halfway and stripped out. I actually had a set of the tools that had the big old stars that I forgot I had ordered. I found them in a box today. And it got halfway and started spinning with the drill on the socket. I'm like, well, damn it. And I looked and, hey, that's right where the window stops. So the regulator, something happened to the regulator. So now we wait. Dave is repairing the front end of his Sienna. Tom, what's up, man?
Good times. Not really.
if you can save yourself a lot of money. So I was talking to my brother. So he had a Sienna just like mine. His is a 15, mine's a 16. He sold it to his daughter who had 3 kids and needed a van. So the one negative about it, there's a couple of negatives. One of the negatives is the brakes are not big enough on that Sienna. So you go through brakes. I have changed the brakes on my Sienna 5 or 6 times. I think 5. And they're close to going to number 6. And so if you can do that work, if you can, so I can get brakes on eBay, brakes and pads. I mean, we're talking slotted and drill rotors, ceramic pads for like $160 from Brake Motive or Detroit Brakes. Either one of them, they're very similar. And it takes me about an hour to put brakes all the way around it. Just for the front brakes, Terry, my brother said, she just paid almost $400 for somebody to do the front brakes. Man, take advantage of your skills. If it breaks, watch a video. Man, brakes are, for most vehicles, there is that odd bastard every now and then, but for most vehicles, and the Toyota Sienna, it falls in that class, they're easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just finding the parts of the pain in the ass.
Well, I currently don't drive it like a race car, Harlan, because it's on a donut.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked up a metal roofing screw somewhere, and it sounded like I had studded tires on the back, and I called Costco and said, how long if I come right now to work it in? Well, you need an appointment. I'm like, all right, when's your next appointment? He goes, 15 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, I'm coming right now. When's your next appointment? 15 minutes. I'm like, I'll be there. And turned into the parking lot, and the tire blew and coming into the parking lot. So yeah, that was it. So they ordered a tire. Yeah, it's a little donut for sure. So Harlan drove us around to the estate sales Friday. Harlan's passing traffic and stuff. I'm like, something's wrong. Your truck don't sound right. He's like, yeah. I was like, mine sounds like it's gurgling gasoline. Yours don't make that sound. So we did pretty good. So went back to that. So what's the most anybody has spent at estate sales? I went 2 days to the same estate sale and spent almost $600. So in the chat, tell me, Now, what's your usual spend at an estate sale? This is the most expensive company in town. Ended up buying, I think, 85 Blu-rays and about 110 DVDs. And I did not scan any of the Blu-rays. I scanned every DVD. All the DVDs were at least worth $12 or more on Amazon. Scott, that's old news. They replaced. He had to get a recall replaced on his truck, and his truck is back to. Mine's going to have the same thing done because mine acts like his did before his got fixed. So I didn't buy any big things. You know, when you're buying DVDs and Blu-rays, the Blu-rays were $2 each the first day, and then they were $1.50 the second day. It takes a lot to get the $600 when you're buying pieces. Tom said he spent $4K. Did you buy the whole estate? The hell. So, but take advantage of your opportunities, folks. I'm telling you right now, if you're finding sourcing tough, you got a couple options. Learn different categories or learn new ways of source. And estate sales, you wouldn't think that I could go to an estate sale. And so did I mention all those Blu-rays and DVDs are all brand new? I didn't buy, well, I bought 3 used ones by mistake. They were all brand new. The lady was she had foster kids. I think she ended up having like 15 foster kids, or several of them were there helping with the estate. She never threw anything away. So all these old toys throughout the years. And she had all these movies. I mean, there were DVDs in every room of this house.
I didn't realize it was all new.
There's a lot of video game stuff. So the game guys come in the first couple hours, took everything. Well, they thought. I picked up some good games. I picked up one that's worth about 70 for a couple bucks, and a couple others that were worth in the 20-30 range, but that's fine with me for a couple bucks. I just don't know why they left them. As little as I know about video games, I know any PS2 games that have anime on the front, you have to at least look those up. What's the most I've ever spent on one item? The most I've ever spent at one auction, what I spent about one night. Dusty spent $1,500 of my money. Yeah, but that was well spent. I made. I sold that stuff for like $30,000 or $40,000. It was so a school. It was a school system. They put this alarm stuff and door control stuff in only at one school. They decided they didn't like it or they had leftovers, and so they sent it to auction. And I bought a pallet of that mess.
There you go.
You know, I don't pay a lot, Larry. I just don't. I don't like. Now I'll pay thousands of dollars for wholesale and that kind of stuff. Eric loves to spend Jason's money. I'm telling you, they sit there and plan what they're going to buy and storage auctions and all kinds of mess. Yeah, they're a good team, man. They work well together, and they are both. They rarely make a mistake. They research so much stuff. Eric and Jason are good dudes. Yeah. So Wednesday, Thursday was too close together. Ended up talking about the same thing, and it was hard to find. Plus, we can get Tom up on Sunday night. What's up, Tom?
Hey, what's up, dude?
You're good looking for this show.
I just wanted to hop in for a second and tell you about the boat. Yeah, the $4,000. That was for a boat that this guy, or the son of the guy that passed away, that the estate sale was for. the weekend before that, he was coming home from, it was a bass boat. He was coming home from one of the lakes. He and his buddies had been drinking, forgot to tie the boat down, and they slung it down a 4-lane road at about 60 miles an hour. So it ate the bottom out of it. But the boat was basically brand new. It had a 200 Mercury outboard on it. I mean, it was decked out good.
So for most people, if you don't know boats, the most expensive part of a boat is that engine, by far.
And it was sitting on an easy loader trailer, which that one was about $3,500. So I basically pieced it out and made about $6,000 off of it with about 2 phone calls. Yeah,
so one of our estate sales, they have a nice car. If you're looking for a Honda, they've got it's a 18 or 20 CRV. It's only got 30,000 miles on it. They take bids or offers, and then on Friday afternoon they're going to open them, and the highest person gets it. So that's I got too many cars, too much.
Got too many that don't run.
Well, all of them except for one run.
You're talking about the brakes. Can you not mod those brakes on it? Get bigger pads or whatever, or not pads, but
no,
the whole.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
You can't get. They don't make. It's a minivan. They don't make aftermarket like super calipers. But I think. I mean, it's the pads on that thing are small. So, but they're so easy. I mean, it's just. But it'll about 45,000 miles is about all I get out of them. They chew up brakes.
Well, you probably got a lead foot anyway. A 0 to 90 in about 200 feet.
And Jacob's car runs fine, does everything fine. It's just got tires are dry rotted. They were dry rotted when it went in the garage. The one window would not go down, would not come up, and so it's been in the garage this whole time because the window. And so I bought the regulator, so it's on its way.
That's all that's wrong with it, right? Just the tires on the.
Yeah, that's it.
Window, right? Yeah.
The top won't go down because it needs a regulator on. It needs a motor on the back window. But
I was laughing at what Mr. Sadie said.
Oh yeah, some Willwood brakes. But you'd be amazed, if you're a person that tinkers, in reselling, if you can fix stuff or have the ability to, just simple stuff like parting stuff out. It's amazing the money you can make. I challenge you, some of the stuff you pick up, see what it's worth in parts. You'll be shocked that the amount of money you get for parts versus selling the thing as a whole.
And like that boat, people couldn't get over the big hole that was in the bottom of that fiberglass boat. It was a Skeeter bass boat, and it just ate the bottom out of it. But people couldn't get past it. But I just walked over it and said, "Are you selling the boat?" And they said, "Well, it's not part of the estate sale, but it's for sale." And asked them how much, and I told them it was sold, and I went to the bank and got some cash to pay them. But people just couldn't get over that big hole, and because I knew the motor and the trailer was worth, that was worth a lot of money.
So these are some of the games. So this one here, I'd never seen it before, but it had the little anime looking chicks on it. So I think it's worth about $28. When I was counting them up for the lady, I'm counting up all these DVDs a mess. I just counted these as DVDs. So, this was one of these. There's another one. I think it's the other one. No, it's this one. This is the expensive one. It's probably $60 or $70, I think. That one's probably only worth 15 or 20. Kingdom Hearts. There's like 2 or 3 of it. And then there's that one, another 15 or $20. But they've all got their books and everything. So Any of those with the funky characters on the front of them. I don't know why these are still there. People are crazy.
Usually from that genre, the anime type stuff, those are kind of funny people anyway. They keep all that stuff.
So if you don't learn anything here tonight other than talking to me and Tom, I've made a lot of money on anime DVDs and Blu-rays. They are worth a small. If you don't scan any of the rest of them, if you see any of those, make a note to yourself. They are worth a small fortune a lot of times. I've sold new Blu-rays and stuff for $80, $100 just for one, just in that genre of. We went to this is a great one. Harlan and I went to an estate sale, and it had all these collectibles, all this stuff. This person was into all that kind of stuff. And it was higher price. And these people, because the estate sale took their time and looked up everything except the DVDs and the movies. You've got to, where are they weak? They don't have time to look up every DVD. And so I ended up buying a whole IKEA bag full of them things. And I made stupid money on the movies. Harlan bought a huge handful too. I know he did really well too. I ran into him upstairs, and I'm like, "Are you fine? Did you look at the DVDs?" And he had a handful. I had a handful. I'm like, "I'm going back downstairs to scan every one of them."
Do people not look at you funny scanning stuff at flea markets? I mean,
man. So this estate sale. Hey, Mr. Jacob, how are you, buddy?
What's up, dude?
Good evening.
600 or 700 DVDs and Blu-rays. Man, these things were everywhere. Every room, there in every single room, except the kitchen. And so this old lady, Tom, probably your age, comes up to me.
That's all right. You're headed my direction.
You got the silver. I've got the little.
Got there, right?
I've got the Opticon in my hand scanner, and I've got the phone just laid on a shelf. And she's looking at me. And every time I hit the button, the phone would beep. And because I was running Scout IQ, and she said, "How does that phone know to tell you what it's worth?"
You're like, I trained her well.
Oh. So I explained to her, I'm like, "Ma'am, this is a Bluetooth barcode reader. So every time I mash the button, it sends a signal to the phone, and the phone looks it up in the app. It enters it like a keyboard." I explained it to her in a way she could understand. And she goes, she was like, "That's really fascinating. That is an easy way to do it." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. With as many as there are here, it would be crazy to do it any other way."
How many did you say you ended up buying?
Over 200.
Wow.
If you can see over there,
Dang.
see them all over there. That's
Looks like you haven't been listening, but
so when I left the second day, I had 2 IKEA bags full, the big blue 20-quart ones. The first day, all the Blu-rays stacked up. They went in the print boxes where you like you get a ream of paper. That they were to the very top of those, and then a few in another box. That's how many Blu-rays there were.
Wow.
So if anybody's ready to join, it's that time. Long Hit Championships. Let's go.
Long Hit Championship. They are. Harlan's correct. I bought a couple that were used, but there was a Pokemon one that Harlan. So Harlan, at the second day, Harlan was there, and he looked around several times, and I ran into him in a room, and I'm sitting there scanning, and so he's picking them up, scan this one, and if it was a yes, he just drop it, but he picked up this one. I was like, I think that was probably good. So it's worth, I think, $12, $13, $14. But when you're only paying $1.50, you're just gonna send it to Amazon. It's got all this stuff with it for Pokemon. But they had a sealed Lego set there. That crazy estate sale. They wanted 400. The most that it sold for on eBay was like 169. They wanted 400 for that Lego set. This is why Harlan and I quit going to this one. Even on half off day, you're still well over what the stupid thing sold for. And it was an old set, but it was a plain set. It wasn't one that had any characters or any. It wasn't like the old haunted house or anything spectacular. It was just kind of blah.
Kind of blah.
Carol donates all DVDs.
Well, Carol's got plenty of money. She's not worried about that.
So Carol, I wouldn't have. I told her about the new group. I would have just introduced her to Harlan because he's already got one from the estate sales chasing him. You might as well have another one.
Are you trying to marry him off?
That was the. Have you not heard that story, Harlan? Harlan, come on, tell the story about But she was already saying her name with his last name. Yeah, that one. That's got a good ring to it. It's but yeah, so watching Casey Rockstar Flipper, there's some interesting things happening with eBay this week, with people suing over the glitches, and he said that people were finding issues with their fees. Has anybody in the chat, have you had a chance to look at your statement and seen if there were any fees that were wrong?
Well, they're charging you fees on tax. That's wrong.
I was checking to see if Todd was in here because he was having that problem with eBay about the listing saying he was part of a lawsuit and all that kind of mess.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't aware of that, eBay, one of the glitches they had this week was if you were selling any kind of, was it limited to NCAA merchandise or was it any athletics?
It was a Duke pennant, is what he was listing.
Other people had problems with other universities, but he was trying to list a Duke pennant and said you can't list that you're involved in a trademark lawsuit or some mess. This is. First of all, they can do whatever they want to with their trademark, but when you're selling something used, there's no, you have the ability. This is where the first sale doctrine comes in. It's your property. You can do whatever you want to with it. It is a Duke pennant is a physical piece of merchandise. It's not intellectual property like they try to get you with who's the one, P90X. And who's the language one? Somebody in the chat will tell me the language one.
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah,
Rosetta Stone will chase your ass down.
Yeah, they will.
I haven't looked at mine, so I'll almost says his are correct. Good. So Harlan hasn't learned to scan. Harlan was doing just fine with his phone, but whenever there's a huge difference, Larry, if you've never used a Bluetooth scanner and you're trying to do something fast through media, people ask me, do you need a scanner? And for most people, the answer is no. If you're not going to scan a bunch of DVDs, if you're not going to scan a bunch of books and stuff, your phone is generally good enough. But when you've got 500 or 600 stupid DVDs that you're trying to go through, and all you're doing is hitting that little thing and your phone go, it'll tell you it's way faster when you're trying to go very, very fast. But for the most, and this iPhone is still screwing up. So I made the comment that the other day that I was carrying the other phone to scan because it scans better. It's got the same issue. Once you scan an item, I'll scan this one right here. If I can trick it into scanning. So it'll bring up the movie. So that's why I bought that one. Used is $24. So that's why I bought that one. So let's.
And you paid $1.50 for it.
Yeah, $1.50. All I'm gonna do is hit the bottom one and scan this. Okay, maybe I'm gonna scan this one.
What? Damn my phone.
Poor Todd.
Damn it. This is a $1,300 phone that won't scan a damn barcode with Amazon. Okay, so I just scanned it, and it says scan a barcode, and it doesn't move. It happens with this one. It happens with this one. This is an XS Max. So every time you want to scan it, you have to hit the back and clear, and now you can do the next item. I don't know, you can't see that. And so that you're at a blank state. So that's why using Scan IQ was so much faster as well, because it does not have the same issues that the Amazon app is having right now with an iPhone.
What about Scout IQ? Is it the same response time? I mean, why not just go back?
Scout IQ is hit the button every time, never have to touch it. Just keep going. Just keep going. It brings up the screen and tells you what the buy box is, what the used buy box is, and all their information. And then you hit the button again, and it brings up the next one. You don't have to touch it again. You don't have to touch the phone. I would just lay the phone on the shelf, and I would just go right down the shelf.
Yeah.
And if I had the IKEA bag in front of me. If it was above $12, I dropped in the bag. If not, I push it down as I went through.
Scoutify, not Scout IQ. Scoutify for Inventory Lab.
I don't have an Inventory Lab.
Oh, that's right. You got rid of it. I forgot. It's hard to think that you don't have Inventory Lab.
I stopped briefly at an estate sale yesterday, and it sounded like an electronics store in that there were so many beepings going on. There's about 4 ladies scanning books and there's a few scanning some DVDs.
I've been to places now where they have a sign up that says, if you're scanning, we don't want to hear the beep.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, they don't care if you scan, but they just don't want to hear the beeps, you know? So you just have to put an earbud or something in there.
But it's better that way anyways.
Exactly. How would you know if it was your beep or somebody else's beep? Like,
I was, as I was leaving, I'd been to this lady's estate sale several times. And I said, you know what you need to do? You need to have since nobody's living in the house, you need to start collecting all these resellers' names. And the Friday night before the sale starts on Saturday, because ours usually runs Saturday and Sunday, sometimes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You send out an email, let all these people come over there and just start scanning stuff and get rid of all the quick stuff real fast. Like she said, she tried that a couple of times, but people didn't want to come.
Todd says you scan ass pads.
No, that would be the bearded picker.
Hey, I'm not.
Hey, it makes money. I'm scamming.
That's right.
So this week alone, I have gone into 2 different Walgreens. Walgreens is getting rid of their Just for Men hair dye, or I don't know if it's being replaced by updated packaging. Nobody said a word when in 2 stores I bought more than 10 boxes of hair dye.
Maybe they think you're going to use it on your beard, Scott.
Oh.
So one store, it was all for black fellas. It was all the African American hair dyes. Nobody said a word. They just didn't look at me. Okay, and then the next day I was in Birmingham, and I went in a store that had some Kotex pads that I hadn't seen in a while because they're discontinued. They had 22 packs on the shelf. Woman cashier never blinked when I paid for 22 packs of Kotex pads. Never blinked, never said a word.
You just got a house full of girls.
If I got that kind of problem, then I need Red Cross in the driveway.
Yeah.
The preparation age was funny when you're buying those.
A friend of mine's got 4 teenage daughters, and then he got married again, and he has 1 young teenage stepson. And he was my friend had to stop off at Walgreens to pick up some pads for his daughters, and his stepson said, "Pop, how can you buy all this stuff and fill this buggy full of this stuff and go out there and check out?" He said, "Man, your sister is 19 years old. I've been buying these things for years. After a while, you just don't care. You just want to cash out and go."
That's right, Brian. Maybe they thought I was transitioning.
God doesn't be an ugly girl.
Uh, it's folks. For those of you who are new to this game, welcome to Reselling. I hope you have a great. I hope it's all you want it to be. But at some, you don't have. People don't care what you buy. They don't pay 2 bits of attention what you. I have bought everything under the sun from ass pads to tampons, to pads, to enemas. I've bought it all. Nobody cares.
As long as you're buying, as long as you're spending money.
I've only had one lady ever say anything about that kind of stuff. I had some Nicorette, some pads, and some condoms, and a couple. Just the oddest assortment that came off their clearance and the stuff that I was buying. And she looks right at it and she goes, "I really don't even know what to ask you about. You're going to do with this combination." That was it. That's the only person who's ever said anything, and she just made a joke. She didn't say it. And I explained to her, and she goes, "Well, that makes a lot of sense because I couldn't figure out what you were going to do with, why would you need condoms and this, and everything you're buying is the opposite of the other."
Contradicting yourself, sir.
I've had people, and this. So I saw this lady again when I was doing Walgreens again this year. One of our Walgreens in town. I had a basket full of stuff, and that woman goes, "You must have a lot of kids." And I say, "Yes, ma'am, 12 of them." And she looked at me, and I said, "That's not the worst part. I got 9 baby mamas." And that manager was standing right there, so she just busted out laughing, and I couldn't hold it anymore. I started laughing.
Well, you are from Alabama.
Are you pulling my leg? Yeah, I'm pulling your leg. So every time, so this when I went in there today, she's like, "I wondered if you were going to come buy a bunch of these toys this year." She said, "And I heard all your baby mamas and all the kids doing." I'm like, "They're doing just fine."
I was watching somebody's show. I've got so many people that's on my feed. And one of the people that was on her show was talking about, and I thought this crap had stopped, about some Walmart assistant manager giving them a hard time because they were buying a bunch of clearance for reselling, and they wouldn't sell it to them. I know several Walmart managers. Their bonus is based on what they move out of that store.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Their bottom line
if it's on the shelf, they want it out the door. I was in there at one store one time, and the manager, who I know, came over to me and said, "You need to take all of this crap." I said, "Man, most of this stuff is too expensive."
Every store I go in, they tell me that, Tom. That lady, the lady at Walgreens, she's like, "Because I know you're gonna buy it all. Just keep buying." I'm like, "I've already been to this store." She goes, "Well, I hope you left some money to buy here." And I took like 2 baskets out of there. She's like, you did good. They want it gone.
But the manager said,
"Don't negotiate."
The manager said, "Is this buggy not enough?" He says, "I can have somebody bring you some more buggies. I can help you push somebody up to the register. I'll have somebody to open a register just to ring you out 2 or 3 buggies full of stuff." He said, "This stuff needs to go because that affects his bonus."
So right now, Walmart has toy clearance. They're covered in toy clearance right now. It's not moving. And so if you're willing, I think they're at 50, maybe moving to 75%. And I scanned a ton of it over the last couple of weeks, and there's not a lot of it that makes money. You break even or a little bit. It's not in. But if you're willing to hold it to the 4th quarter and have got, if you've got a buying budget where you can set these toys and realize what they cost you. If you put them in a storage building, you're going to lose profit every month. That kind of stuff. You're going to lose the ability. So you've got to be able to bet that you're going to make really good money, because how many times can you turn the money that you're sitting? You got to think about a lot of things. But if that's something you're into and you want to do, Walmart has an absolute ton of clearance right now.
Yeah.
toys, and it's beside every store I've been in, like 6 or 8. It's near the toy, so it's not in the main clearance. There's actually clearance for the toys, and it's like an extra row. I saw a lot of it on end caps on the back side. So whatever, if you go into the toy section, everything looks normal. You walk to the end of it up against the wall and turn and look, the whole back side is clearance.
Yeah, most of the big Walmarts will do that. They'll have an end cap per department. It has their own little mini clearance. Even though they have a main, like my store does that, they'll have independent clearance throughout the store, and then they have like an entire row that's dedicated to massive clearance.
Just remember just remember who you're going up against. Most new people who start at Walmart, because there's a Walmart everywhere. In Huntsville, Alabama, we got 12 Walmarts here. And I'd be scared to ask Tom how many they've got in Charlotte.
About as many.
I mean, the difference between Huntsville and Charlotte, Huntsville's got a lot more. We're not nearly as big, so there's room to put them. There's no room in Charlotte to put anything. But yeah, of those 12, 3 of them are grocery stores and 9 of them are full supercenters. I didn't go to the grocery store, so the other 9 all had toy clearance.
There's like 16 right off of 485. 485 is our belt loop around Charlotte.
Right.
So you can, it's 2 or 3 miles off of 485 to these places.
Yeah, y'all got a lot more Targets than we've got. We've only got 3 Targets here.
Yeah, Walmart's got a lot.
And in Atlanta, there's 40 or 50 Walmarts in the Atlanta metro area. But you're going against every new person who, they're just starting off. So you got a lot of people who don't understand how to price things, how to hold things. I think I told the story on, was it last Wednesday or Wednesday before last? I read in one of the groups, somebody wanted to know if they had to subtract their cost of goods to determine their profit. I'm like,
You need to. I hope you got the basic 101 of doing business in your course, Scott.
I couldn't even respond to that because I couldn't be nice. You want to ask them, does somebody have to tell you to wipe your ass when you get up? Is that what they do? Hey, Mark, it's just
Vintage says only 7 Walmarts in Memphis looking to closing at least one due to theft. We have one back when all our Walmarts were 24-hour. We had one that's on Independence Boulevard, if anybody's familiar with Charlotte. I asked the manager in there one time, I said, why are you not 24 hours? He said, because between 11 and 6, any profit that I made that day would walk out the door. That's how bad their theft is. Well, he said it's bad during the broad daylight.
I can't tell you how many. So when I first started doing this, they were all 24 hours back in 2013, and up until the pandemic. And you go up front and you'd be hunting for a damn cashier. There'd be nobody around. There'd be nobody watching the door. There'd be nothing. How do you expect to stop theft when you don't even have anybody? You don't even have a deterrent. There's nobody up front.
Yeah, that's why some of these Walmarts have 3 when they're doing inventory. They're like $3 and $4 million worth of walked out products.
It got so bad that when video games and stuff were on sale, that I found a online where you can buy the spider security thing magnets, and I'd be 3 o'clock in the morning and I'd have a basket full of shit, and they go, "Oh my Lord, we don't have one of them. I don't know how we're going to get those open." I'm like, "Don't worry, I got one in my pocket." I just start unlocking the stupid things with my own. Me and my brother both had them.
So maybe that's the reason they're in cages now.
So we did use those things for evil, because we had we'd be both in the middle of the night and we'd have a contest of what's the strangest thing you could put back into it. So I'll be walking through the store, getting out whatever I'm going to buy to put in the basket. and then you look for the strangest thing to shove back in it and put back on the shelf in the
Right.
security box.
But you know, I did some part-time work at Staples, and the electronics were in the spider wraps, and
Yeah.
people would go in and they would cut the corners out of the boxes, and they would shove the wraps just far enough
Because then
that
it
they
gets
could pull the item out of the box, and then they would go like behind the paper towels. They would take them back there and stick them behind the paper towels, the boxes.
I got 20 Walmarts around me.
Jeez.
I answered in the chat for you. Don't worry.
That's like a 10-mile circle around my house. 20 Walmarts.
But and that's the other thing too. You got to realize that
yeah, it's
you might think you're getting a great deal, but look, I mean, look how many there are just so many freaking Walmarts, and there's just so much of that merchandise just because you cleared your little town, you cleared your entire state. There's still 49 more states. Excuse me, 49 more states.
Yeah, and if you do like Scott, where you're not afraid to do a little traveling, let's just let's swing a circle around, like say 3 hours driving. 3 hours driving from Charlotte is Charleston, South Carolina, Raleigh, Asheville. I mean, there's a bunch of daggone Walmart.
3 hours, you can almost get to Knoxville.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Walmarts in that circle.
Look at mine. Mine includes Nashville, Memphis, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Atlanta, and here there is a lot, and Chattanooga. I mean, 3 hours around your house. I've said that for a long time. That ain't, for most people, that ain't, unless you're Kevin out of Hillbilly and you live out in the middle of nowhere and 3 hours don't make a shit. Most people, but he'll at least get boys in that circle. Most of us will get several that
3 hours gets Todd to Walmart.
That gets you Dallas. Shut up, Todd. So liquidation, bro. I didn't have any issues. I only sold 6 things on eBay, or maybe 7.
Sold a few. I didn't see anything like that.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure I know where everything is, which is a kind of a minor miracle for me in eBay. It takes me a minute. I have to log in on this new computer. I have 6 things to ship. Let's see. Universal Garage. Yep. Flexies. I know what that is. Artistry. Yep.
Is tomorrow a holiday?
Yes. Tomorrow's President's Day. There's no USPS tomorrow. You can still ship UPS tomorrow. And FedEx. They both are operating as normal tomorrow.
We know who Scott's celebrating tomorrow. Mr. B.
Don't get me started.
Wasn't it originally Washington's birthday or something?
Oh yeah.
There used to be Washington's birthday. There was like they celebrated like 3 presidents.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Trying to invest to avoid world events. They're making it hard. If you live in Ohio, I mean, they're trying to blow you guys up and poison you all to death. We got all these nasty chemicals. What do y'all want to do with them? Well, hell, let's set them on fire.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea. Let's make a fire so big that it can be seen from satellites and can be seen from outer space. Let's
that was after they declared it to not be leaking.
Yeah.
That was the thing that got me the most was, okay, you've declared that they're not leaking, then why set them on fire now all of a sudden? Yeah, okay.
And then that just started. There's been, 3 train derailments in the past 8 or 10 days?
South Carolina and Texas had one, yeah.
One of them, they could, unless they had paid somebody to do it. One of them hit a semi-truck, I think. The one in Texas, I think, hit a semi-truck. Yeah, it's
There's a railroad track about 200 feet that direction right now, and I was sitting in here the other day, 2 days ago, and I hear the train just absolutely grinding to a halt. And I'm thinking, oh my god, here comes the track. Here comes the train, because they're actually in the process of installing new rails right now. I was like, okay, sure enough, they probably put some faulty rail somewhere. The only other time I've ever heard them scream that loudly, grinding to a halt, was when they hit somebody about 200 feet up the track.
So I've got bad news for those of y'all who are hoping that they were shooting down aliens. That distraction that was aliens. I got bad news for you. So there's a balloon club of some sort that puts up balloons, and one that was shot down over Canada was one of theirs. Okay. Yeah, they put it up, and they're like, we don't think it's a coincidence that we lost contact with it at the exact spot that they shot down. And they say they described it as long and cylindrical, and that's the shape, because that just insane.
Back in the day, we used to take, the plastic bags like dry cleaning would come in. We'd take one of those and we'd take drinking straws, and we'd make a cross out of them taped together, and then tape the bag to that cross and put birthday candles along each arm of that cross and light them up and let them float off. That would the M16s would start coming in fast these days.
So the memes for the balloons are some of the best that's been around for a while. Anybody see the guy that was all like in a full body cast? Talking about he was just out for a leisurely balloon ride. And another one said the other one that was one of my favorite, talking about he's trying to arrange his wife a balloon ride.
Well, the National Balloon Association or whatever made an announcement that the people that do these balloons, that they don't get to 45,000 feet, so it's safe to be in them.
So speaking of the grocery bags, so I'm sitting in here yesterday. I'm working on, I don't even know what I'm working on. Franklin never barks. He'll bark at you if you want something, and he'll bark inside playing with Phoebe. But other than that, you just never hear this dog. And I'm sitting right here, and I'm like, I'll be damn, what in the Franklin's in the backyard just barking, and I get to the door and watch him. He's barking at something, kind of backing up towards the patio. For those you don't know, I'm probably 20 feet off the patio, 30 feet to get to the back, and he's backing up. And I look out in the backyard. It's a damn grocery bag. This got air in it. It is disgusting. And it has terrorized my poor puppy dachshund to death. And I'm like, come on, Franklin, you gonna go here with me to get it? He would not move. He went under the patio by the doggy door and just watch me. That was
it's sad about these. I mean, they've been shooting down everything that flies apparently this week. What was it? Something over there was one over Canada, one over Alaska,
one off South Carolina.
Yeah, well, that's the one that set everything on fire.
Can you see the folks in China talking about how are they blaming all this on us? We thought we paid Joe for this. Come on now, he's supposed to be running cover for us.
I think it just exploded up in the air. It didn't actually hit the ground.
So how much money did we waste on these things? These missiles can't be cheap.
They're like $2 million a pop.
What?
How much
Is the pharmacy industry tied into that?
So you're a little off. A Sidewinder missile is currently
A little off.
$399,500.
No, though.
Oh, that's not bad. I was
House every time.
my niece people over on MSNBC was wrong then.
Well, that's if they use Sidewinders. They could have used something else that was probably that expensive.
Well, they were talking about $1 million to $2 million, whatever it was.
So you're one of the few that watches them. What the hell?
It was.
Did Roberta make you watch it?
I was at who?
Your wife.
Are you kidding me? If she even knew that I was watching that channel, she would like freak out. What are you giving them views for?
Next, don't worry. Next time you go live, don't give me an invite.
No, my mom. I was at my mom's today, and she was flipping through channels, and they were doing a news brief on it. Did you hear that Mr. Carter has gone home?
Yeah, they put him in hospice, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say this. I'll say this about Jimmy Carter. He's a Democrat, and I can forgive him for that. He's one of the worst presidents ever in the history of America.
Right.
But I'm telling you right this, one of the best men ever.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Absolute credit to the human race. One of the nicest, kindest, gentlest, somebody you aspire to. Can you be as good and loving as kind? What a Christian should be. I hope Jimmy Carter gets his reward that he so deserves.
Right.
He's lived a good life. I don't care for his politics and what he was when I was growing up, but him and his wife. But what outstanding people! You never heard. Who says it? The only thing they say bad about him is he liked every bad guy because he was so nice and he was a bad president. But nobody ever says, if you ever meet him, nobody's ever said a bad word about him.
No. And I hope when it's his time to go, I hope he goes out peacefully. Yep. But I heard that today because
I heard it yesterday. So it's and Harlan's saying for those about 10 miles from here, the Tennessee National Guard lost a Black Hawk helicopter and went down. They were on a training mission. Joni, Harlan, I don't know if you read this, but Joni said they were coming over here. They were over Highway 53 coming this way. That's why it looked like they were in a field. They were actually headed this way. That they had an appointment for that one. For those of you who don't know, Ulista is a large aerospace contractor or military contractor. They're located here at the little airport I live at. They retrofit Black Hawk helicopters and Ospreys. And so right now there are 5 or 6 Black Hawks down there with all the rotors are off. They fix they do something to the rotors. They bring them in and work on the electronics. And when these things leave, they add another 20, 25 years of service to them. So
now, is this like in a secure area?
Nah. They've got a fence, but what's the fence gonna stop? There ain't nobody out there watching.
Well, that's just what I'm wondering. It looks like they would be inside of a fence with maybe a couple of guards around them, that kind of thing. Those crazy Alabama boys, they're going to go down there for a photo op.
I've posted pictures every now and then, like when they're testing them on Wednesdays is generally when they test the Ospreys, and because you can feel the building shake. They're so loud, and I've got pictures of them down at the end of the road. I posted it on Facebook or somewhere, and they said Ulysses sent me a message. Want to know could they use the footage? I'm like, I don't care. Do whatever you want to.
Those are the cool ones.
Yeah, Amazon $7.99. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, at least he's not. At least he can go out going. He's not the worst president in the U.S.
He's damn sure not the worst president now. But look what he dealt. Look what he dealt with too. I mean, it's not like I don't know anybody that goes through that crazy inflation and the oil embargoes and all that crazy mess from the 70s. If you didn't live in the 70s, go. Most of the people know about the 70s is what kind of music because it was good music and that kind of stuff. The economics and stuff go look at what your parents are paying for mortgage rates and stuff. So everybody now is bitching 6-7%. They'd have given their right arm in the 70s for 6 or 7%.
They were fighting for 9%. My dad had a land surveying business, for people that don't know, and because of that, I'd hear a lot of dinner table talk, and he's talking about interest rates on houses 14, 15, and 16%. And could you imagine having a 14% interest rate on a house?
Yeah, Mike, I forgot about that too. All the lines for gas, they didn't have gas and all that stuff. Man, he made. I was young, so I'm sure he made plenty of mistakes. But what's the right thing to do when you got to realize what they were doing. They took us off the gold standard, and that sparked hyperinflation. And the one thing different now that the inflation has gone crazy than it was back then is there wasn't a lot of, before that happened. Tom will he'll back me up. There was no personal debt. You didn't have, your grandmas and grandpas didn't, they want a car, they wouldn't pay cash for it. Your mom and dad, your grandparents, one job. There's a reason why, your grandfather could be the postman. Grandma never worked, and they had a nice house and everything. It's because the inflation, as they drove the cost of living up, and they drove it and they made it normal. You have to have two people work to pay your share of the taxes. Look, do some reading, folks. This great government of ours is steadily out to take everything from you that you got.
But I remember the gas lines. I was a driver then, and we would take over the weekend. My brothers and I would take the trucks out and try to fill them up with gas so my dad could operate the next week. And when I'm saying they were land surveyors, not surveyors with. If you had to buy this, if you had the choose between regular Coke or Diet Coke, which would you choose? Not that kind of surveyor. But we would sit in line because we could only get $10 worth of gas. That's it. $10 worth of gas. You had to go someplace else and get more if you wanted more. So that was a hard time. There was a lot of real estate agents that was waiting tables and bagging groceries and all of that kind of stuff during that time period. Y'all are all so young, except for Todd. So he's the only one I know, so I can speak out for that one. But that was
go dog go Gary. He's old like y'all too.
Oh, is he? Okay. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, Gary's old.
But that was a tough time. I mean, it really was. It was.
Yeah. All right, have to mix me something.
It's
Hey, you know what the good thing, Harlan, has this having the show tonight has done?
What?
I've been done with Van Massey for like 4 hours. Normally, I'm still running around trying to get everything done. I've got my cards written out. I've been done with Van Massey for several hours now.
Ready to go.
Yeah, gas was cheap. I had a CJ5 in high school, a Jeep CJ5, and
Tyler doesn't believe it.
$5 put a lot of gas in that thing.
Way. It's in the van even? Ready to go?
Yeah, I finished about 3:30. It's awesome. It's a great feeling not running around right now. Knowing I'm going to be fast like you are at Van Massey tomorrow and get my butt back here and list DVDs. I've got a bunch of stuff I bought last week too. I've got stuff everywhere that's got to go in. So I've already got one shipment done. And I got several more to get out of here.
How often do you ship? Like every day?
I haven't been shipping a lot because I've done everything merchant fulfill, but I've made the decision. So all this has got to go out and it'll clear the table again. And then everything I've got merchant, I'm gonna send it into. I'm gonna reduce. I feel that, I've got the class going. Anybody's interested in learning retail arbitrage, there's a link in the chat. Link in the description. There's all kinds of links in the description. If you need repricers, if you need accounting, if you need, I've got you covered with discounts. But spending 2 or 3 hours, 3 days a week on just shipping when I could have done it one time and been done with it. It's growing old. It's also grown, one of the links is to get boxes, and I don't mind shipping, but it's just my time. What's your time worth? Amazon will allow you to hire them to do that. So Dustin says he gets 3 out every week. My goal is going to be to get 2 out, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Todd, you're lying. We're not old enough to have 15 cents a gallon.
How'd they pump it back then?
You'd have to be like 80 instead of 67.
I gave Todd the link out in the chat. He didn't want to come play with us.
Yeah, he needs to come and tell us about a story about his dadgum eBay legal issues.
Gwen probably won't let him.
Who?
Gwen probably won't let him come on.
No, she probably won't. She controls what he does.
Wow. Laying it down, huh?
So has anybody tried these? I don't know how many people. So I put this Gatorade Zero.
Uh-huh.
This was the berry flavor. It's not bad. And there's a couple others that are trying to drink. The one thing that you lose a lot with doing keto, I've been on keto now since January 2nd. I'm down, 15 pounds or so. But you lose electrolytes. And so these are a little better than the lemonades and stuff I normally stick in there. I'm trying to drink. For every Coke Zero I drink, I have to they have to be like this. That's real water in the middle.
Have you tried Brondo yet? I heard that.
Tried what?
Brondo?
Mm.
It has electrolytes, right? The movie Idiocracy. Remember that movie Idiocracy? Brondo and everything. Oh, God.
So I forget what the other one is named, but they're both berry flavored. They're not bad. The Gatorade's got a little more flavor than the other one. The other one's a little flatter, like you can tell it's got salt in it. But
Mr. Sadie, he adds those like the berry drinks to his Michelob Ultra or Bud Ultra or whatever he drinks. But I forgot you're in Texas, Todd. So gas was always cheaper down there.
So Larry never answered a question the other day on your show, Tom.
What's that?
When he drinks them little bitty girl beer cans, does he lift his little pinky finger off when he drinks them? We're interested to know that, Larry. Do you have to take? Is it required if you drink them little girl cans?
No.
So I switched to Coke Zero. I don't know why. I drank Diet Coke for a long time, but I decided I like Coke Zero.
It's kind of bitter to me.
Which one?
The Zero. To me, it has a bitter taste to it.
Sweet.
When my boys were little and they were in Cub Scouts, one of the other parents who was also our pack leader, he worked for Coca-Cola here in Charlotte, which is the biggest Coca-Cola distributor in the world. But anyway, they were running commercials about, I can't tell the difference between Coke Zero, Diet Coke and Coke.
Yeah,
and
right.
I told him, I said, who the hell came up with that idea? I said, you can drink a Coke and tell there's a difference between a Coke and a Diet Coke. He said, I don't know. We've been catching a lot of flack about that. But you gave up drinking. Gave up drinking sodas for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, but then I couldn't figure out what to drink.
Beer was too early, huh?
Yeah, I don't drink. If I'm on keto, I'm not drinking beer. And now maybe I'll do. Maybe I'll drink a Miller Lite every now and then. But I was trying to drink a lot of unsweet tea and water. Because I was trying to eliminate anything that had any kind of artificial sweetener. So that means you can't do these either.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? We're all going to die at some point. So
my dietitian, when we were having a meeting after I had my procedure, she's like, you don't want to drink anything with even the fake sugar in it, because it all messes up your body. Still thinks it's sugar.
if you actually go back, I was listening to somebody the other day. If you actually go back and look at the studies, they don't know what the hell it does. The studies for every one that says yes, one will say no.
Absolutely.
Miller Lite, you're going to come up with something like that.
Miller Lite.
It's what us rednecks drink. Except for you, Mr. Say, do you drink the little beer cans? Yes, the devil's lettuce is keto friendly.
Yeah, low carb, man. No carb.
Miller Lite.
Let's see if there's anything exciting in the Amazon news. Since I don't have anything. Free webinars to launch your first ad campaign. Does Amazon not make enough money? Because every time I look at the news of their news section, it's always something about ads. They are obsessed with you spending money on ads. Reassure customers with a new transparency badge. New packaging and warning label rules for button cell and coin batteries. Anybody sells those, you need to read that. Learn how to price your products competitively. I'm telling you right now, at some point we're going to have to join together. It's going to have to be a class action lawsuit because these high price warnings are just there. This fucking price fixing that Amazon is allowed to do in the name of it's good for the customer. They can spend their own damn money. Nobody has put you between it, when you're not allowing people to sell at any price and you're requiring them to sell at a certain price. That is a form of price fixing. Why has somebody not gone after them for this? It's absolutely incredible.
Well, why don't you call your president and get him to talk to him about it?
Well, he was busy taking care of Ohio. He's the one that got the FEMA the reverse. See what I did there?
I was looking. It's
he's
the manufacturer suggested retail price. That's
see Walmart does it. Okay, so maybe they've got a point if there's an emergency, if there's if it's a product that's it's a medicine, it's a this or that. But I had 2 high price errors on DVDs. One of them was my price was $9.47 and it was considered high price. The feature price was $9.45. The buy box was $9.45. I was $9.47 and I got kicked off for high price for 2 cents. Under $10 on a movie.
That's stupid.
Who was the buy box? Them?
I didn't look.
I get price alerts pretty much on the daily.
I had 5. I don't remember I got this time. 3 of them because I set the reprice up wrong. I don't have any right now.
Most of the people that buy on Amazon, I mean, they're looking at price, but they're not going to be that concerned on price because all they want to do is to show up at their front door in a day or 2.
But yet they would. So when after I finished Van Mass, I was looking for a few more items. So I was going through the garage. We've got stuff in our garage that we moved in there and when we bought this house that we've never even looked at. So I'm going through these boxes trying to figure out what's in there, and I'm filling up the green cans. And there is a Milwaukee screwdriver. I can grab it. This guy here, I found this in a box. It's just 2 ratchet drive screwdrivers from Milwaukee. The last one sold for $80 and Amazon let me list it for $80. They're concerned about 2 cents on a fucking DVD, and they let me list this for $80. It makes no sense whatsoever.
No, it doesn't.
And when I was selling expensive cat food a couple weeks ago, one flavor I could sell for $25. The other one they made me list for $11. Does that make any sense?
No.
Whoa.
Your gallbladder's on the ropes. What?
What the hell?
You don't get no fried food or nothing?
What do you do?
No, I went to the doctor for my 6-month checkup, my blood work this week, and I told him my lower back bothers me when I'm like lifting weights, doing squats, whatever. If it gets irritated, it's over for like weeks. So he sent me for an x-ray. So I got that done. They called me back and they said, hey, x-ray looks good. Nothing, everything looks fine. Just do stretches and stuff. But we see something else. We want to take you get an ultrasound. It's like,
Oh, that's what. Okay.
mm-hmm.
I got to have my hearing check. I could have sworn he said he was lifting weights at Pilates.
Did not. You need to get your hearing checked. I did not say Pilates.
That's weird. I heard lifting weights, and then I thought I heard Pilates.
Pilates, and then he lifted weights.
So is your gallbladder just inflamed, or do you have gallstones?
I'm trying to think of the word that she used. She looked at my kidney. They said they saw something. They didn't know if it was a kidney stone, a gallstone, or a shadow, or whatever. So she started with my gallbladder, and then she went over to my kidneys and looked. She said my kidneys were clear, but she said your gallbladder is, what's the word she used? It was not a good word. She said there was lots of debris and stuff in the gallstone. And
Does that mean you need to? They're gonna take it out, or
I don't know. She just scanned it, and she says you didn't hear nothing from me. They'll call you this week. So I guess the radiologist has to read it and then get with my doctor, and then I don't know. No. What's up, Scott? See? Sludge. They said it was full of something like it was chocolate. It was full of chocolate cream.
Yeah, it didn't.
I don't think of the word she used. I was like, oh.
You're trying to think of the word she didn't use.
Right.
Yeah, I've never had any. Well, that'd be a kidney stone. I've never had my kidneys were clear, she said. Just a gallbladder.
Is it in your upper back or lower back?
This has nothing to do with kidney stones or gallbladder. They just happened to see it while they were doing the x-ray. No, it's my lower back. It's not, it's over on the side. It's just when I lift a certain way, if it gets irritated, it just tightens up real bad in that one spot.
Because everything about the gallbladder says it should be upper back, between your shoulder blades.
I have no pain from gallbladder. This is just something they saw in the x-ray.
Okay.
They just happened to see it while they were doing that.
Dr. Beard, he's checking Google.
I was trying to figure out whatever word he was coming up with. I was trying to look and see if there was some word they used.
No, it was not a technical word she used. It was pretty funny, but it was like, okay, that don't sound good for the gallbladder. So I'll find out this week what they say. But kidneys were clear. Gallbladder had debris, and I can't remember the word she used.
You tell this is not a time to be humorous.
Better eat some raspberries. Left side, right side. Gallbladder is right in the middle. But I haven't had any pain from any of that stuff. This is just something they saw on my, they're talking about my back, maybe my back, Mr. Sadie. Lower back, it's at my waist. It's on the left. Your pain. It's on the left side, right at my waist. I had sludge. Just lots of little stones. Well, I no longer have one. Yeah, it'll be interesting what they say this week.
Fun.
Vegas.
Harley with the debris.
Vegas should have wiped all the debris out.
What?
But that would have been the kidneys if it would have washed that out.
Yeah.
The kidneys are good. So Vegas worked.
It's worked.
Y'all are just getting old, Mr. Sadie. Even though Harlan's only in his like late 40s,
52.
52.
Yeah.
Wow, you don't look it.
Yeah, he and Johnny are like what, 2 weeks apart. She's like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a week or 10 days older than she is.
Scott, you're getting 56 this year, aren't you?
Whoa, hold on. Slow down.
54, don't be doing that. It's bad enough time I'm coming into the mid 50s. Damn.
I can't wait to. If Scott is irritated about everything these days, I can't wait till he gets to be about 64 and a half, and those damn Social Security calls start coming in, Medicare.
See, I'm smarter than you, Tom. I've got an iPhone. I'm smarter than you.
No, if it don't have a number, a person's name on it or a company's name on it that we do business with, there's a big red button over there. Roberta hits and it blocks it.
I'm gonna show you the best thing about an iPhone. See right there where it says silence unknown callers on this. Unless you're in my contact list, this phone never rings. On the one that's spam, it'll come up and go, "You missed a call." I'm like, "Oh, I don't give a fuck." Unless you're in a contact, it'll show up as a missed call. So I never.
So people better make sure you got their. He already gets the ARP.
Yeah, so they do 55 or older, and she's like, she rang up a discount. She's been ringing up ever since. I'm like, hell, I'll just take it.
Right.
Well, a happy early birthday there, Cash.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I remember back in 50 when I was 50.
I'm not there yet.
Gas was like $1.79.
That was only 2 years ago. Come on.
That's right.
It's true.
You know, you used to laugh at like we'd laugh at my dad and my uncle and my aunts. They talk about when they were like teenagers and movies were 10 cents and all this kind of crap. First of all, that 10 cent was about $1.50, you know, in today's money.
Right.
And now, you know, I'm talking to my kids and I'm like, you know, I remember putting gas in my Jeep for 50 cents a gallon, you know, that type of thing. So when you do the same thing, now our grandkids will be going, I remember when it cost $5 to put gas in my car. If there's cars, everybody would be going to electric by then.
See, it's hard to explain to people if you're not old enough to at least have seen some stuff before the 80s. If you talk to grandparents right now, people who had active lives before the 80s, the explosion that the 80s were, you know, the 80s and all the economic boom and all the, you know, stuff was, you know, 80s was when Walmart came alive, you know, we had Kmart, but, you know, yeah. Kmart was just whatever. You know, the 80s were when consumer electronics, when everything truly began. And so most people you talk to don't understand that even though something was relatively inexpensive, there wasn't abundance. You know, you got to realize how in the early 60s, there weren't but a few fast food restaurants. Most people still ate at home. You know, it wasn't, our grandparents didn't eat out like we do.
And it was a special occasion when they did eat out.
Same thing like if they flew on the airplane, they got dressed up because it was a special occasion. You know, there was a lot of things that We talk about just jumping on a flight, going here or there, like it's absolutely nothing, which is the way it is today. And we don't when you compare errors, it's very difficult.
People, if you look at any of the old old movies, home movies, the 8mm stuff, they even like little boys would have suits and ties on. Little girls would have dresses on it. People were dressed to the T when they boarded that Pan Am or that TWA airlines.
We grew up in a time you were looking at Sears catalogs and all this crazy mess and hoping maybe to order something or it come mail. You order it today and sometimes Amazon gets it into you 2 days, sometimes 3 days, but we live in an instant society. A lot of us are drivers of that commerce because we all participate in the selling part and we're beneficiaries of that, but it's hard to remember. I've watched a lot of 80s. I've been watching on TikTok a lot of 80s stuff, and I'm like, man, I miss the 80s. The 80s were a special time, but it was the last of the innocence before everything went nuts and everything was instant. Before, it started with freaking pagers. People wanting you to your time. You lost a lot of your personal time. Everything being connected, you lose your individual. You lose. It's hard as hell to go hide now.
Yeah.
Used to be you could get in your car and hide from people. You could, and now you got that phone right there at you.
If I don't, let me miss one of Joni's calls, and then I'll get a text or something because she's looked up my location. I'm like, you ain't doing nothing. Why'd you answer my call? Call me back now. I'm like, would you leave me the hell alone?
Yeah, try leaving your phone at home. You know how much hell you'll catch for that when they go to figure that one out.
Yeah, my wife and my son loses their mind if I'm going to the grocery. I'm gonna run right up the street to food line, and I don't have my phone with me. They're just busting the damn thing, and I better get back soon, or my wife's just about having the search party sent out for me. I told her, I said, are you worried about me? I've got a side chick somewhere. I said, you don't have to worry about that because I know you will take everything I own. And I am too old to start all over again. And that's probably what Miss Joni would do too. Scott, you got some dreams. We're going to get them too.
They've already been crushed. You ain't got to worry about that.
Well, that's why we say single for life. Whatever.
But especially like Jacob, he's so young. In South Carolina, we had blue laws. Nothing on Sunday was opened up. I can remember on Thanksgiving and Christmas where there was not a damn thing open. Everything was closed up.
Except Waffle House and the gas station.
Yeah, you better. I grew up when I was like 13 when we moved away from Goose Creek, South Carolina. Even
in the 80s and 90s, it was like that until Walmart and them really pushed it. Because we come up here to do Thanksgiving, and the only thing to be open is Waffle House, and I think maybe the Denny stay open. One of them stayed up. Yeah. Other than that, nobody was open.
I grew up in Goose Creek, and there was a family. The only businesses that was open on Sundays were people that were Seventh-day Advocates. Is that it? It's like their Sabbath is Saturday, not Sunday.
Right. Correct.
And they would their businesses were open because that was not their religious. That was not their Sunday was not a religious day for them. But if they were to close Walmart on Sundays, let's just say they decided we're just going to start closing on Sunday. This country would lose its mind because they can't get in the car and run to the Walmart and pick up a dozen eggs. They might have to think about their shopping, before they went. My mom always bought groceries on Friday, and she bought a week's worth of groceries. Hell, if I don't go in the food line every day, the manager's saying, "Have you been sick?" That's like the guy from Amazon. He stopped and beat on our door the other day. Said, "Mr. Hux, are you and Mrs. Hux okay?" We have it delivered to you in about 3 days because somebody's always getting a box here.
No, it's definitely a different time, and that's why I had a talk with Jacob, trying to get him motivated to get him out of this shyness he's in, and trying to help him understand. I don't care what you do, son. Follow your passion, whatever it is in life that is your. Today, this day and age is the easiest time that you can take what you absolutely love and make it your career. Make it, it can start as a side hustle. It can be monetizing your likes and passion in your life is easier now than ever. And you just got to be willing to be uncomfortable because if you do the same thing and expect different results, that ain't gonna work out too great. Yeah, and you had to have selling tendency. You had to have them little things on the end of your phone too to unspin it. If not, it becomes just this big knot of a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the party lines. And we had one when I was a kid. We had one not because we couldn't afford it. It's because there was no private lines to be had. They could string one line and have 5 houses on one line.
I was watching, they were talking about the history of MTV, and I'm like, I don't need to listen to all this. I watched it the first time.
Watch the very first line.
Yeah.
I remember when people, God, this sounds like an old man show now. I remember going to, to like the appliance store when they got new color TVs, and the daggum place would be full. People not buying color TVs because they can't afford them, but they would just want to go in there and see is it NBC that had the flamingo?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see that damn bird all colored up. And now you got a TV that you carry around in your pocket.
If you really give some perspective about the ability and things we have now, it puts, you're mad at a refund, somebody's trying to scam. It puts all that into perspective. If you frame your business and what we do in the proper context,
right?
It makes it easy. I don't look at the emails for the refunds. I've got a box of stuff up there. I guess I'll open them Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll make another video about what Amazon customers sent me back. I'll try not to sniff them this time.
Don't do it.
But yeah, I've got a box full of stuff up there. Who knows what they've sent me back? Don't care. We are very privileged to live and have an ability to do whatever the hell we want.
Well, being that I live in Charlotte, we've got 4 major distribution centers from Amazon in the surrounding area. Roberta can order stuff first thing in the morning, and by that evening, it's sitting out on her doorstep. Now, we're not supposed to get it till the next day or the day after, but it's sitting on the doorsteps.
I'm not moving to a bigger area to get that. I'll just wait my extra couple days. Huntsville's closed. It's getting too big. Y'all just turn around and go home. Shit. We can do without all y'all.
Well, everybody was moving down there.
They're still moving here.
Yeah, they come to South Carolina, and everybody starts holding up flags, a sign saying, "Alabama's where you need to be at."
Go to Madison. Madison's where y'all need to be. Go to Madison.
So many jobs available here right now. All the big boys are advertising on the radio.
On the radio,
They'll work for us for good paying jobs. Steel industry. I know Polaris. What's the big one? Nucor Steel is the big one right now. Advertising every time you turn around.
At some point, Facebook's going to have to start hiring like crazy. Y'all don't understand how big Facebook is. It is probably, and I'm not exaggerating, their facility, what they're building underground, above ground, it's probably 3/4 of a mile long by half mile wide. I am not exaggerating in the slightest.
they've built building A, B, C, D, and they're fixing to do E and F. And once they get done with that, they're building the same thing over again. A, B, C, D,
double,
E,
yeah.
and F. It's a monster.
What is the purpose of the building? Computers or
They're
storage?
all servers and stuff. Yeah.
Damn.
And a lot of it's underground. It's just
Yeah, and you see a lot of it. That's exactly right. You they've got guards and all kinds of shit over there sitting in front of their fences. You ain't getting in.
You know, going back to the 80s, a friend of mine worked for a company called Daniels Construction. They used to be one of the largest international construction companies in the world. I don't know what their status is now, but they were out of Greenville, South Carolina, and they built a new building, and everybody in Greenville called it the Darth Vader building because it was a big black glass building. And in the middle of that thing was a computer room, and it was the size of a gymnasium, high school gymnasium. And that was supposed to be for one computer. That's all. By the time they got the building finished, it went from this huge computer to the size of a table. And they, because of the computers, you know, the development of computers had gone so fast. So that one room ended up being all their servers and their hubs and the PC itself, the CPU itself, and all its tape drives and things like that. So
Yeah,
you youngins just don't know what it is to have a computer sitting on your desk.
Oh, the other one is Propel. I got this camera up here that I'm not even using. That's the other one, the black.
Do you like that stuff?
Yeah, I'm trying. Caffeine don't bother me. I can go to sleep with it, but I don't want to be awake tonight.
Yeah, so
Van Massey hurts on Monday mornings.
I think a lot of people have probably heard of Buc-ee's, right?
Yeah.
Buc-ee's. They did one close to Huntsville. They're starting off at $20 an hour.
You hadn't even been there. Shut up.
I've been to a lot of Buc-ee's.
Not that one.
Is all that stuff
Not
supposed
that
to
one. I'm just saying they pay $20 an hour.
Buc-ee's pays their general managers over $200,000.
If you're willing to win, if you're willing to work between in that 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift, it's like $25 in Florence at the Buc-ee's there.
Wow.
Yeah, they're 24 hours.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you what, you've been to a Buc-ee's one time, there's no reason to go back.
We need a road trip over there, Harlan. Let's go to Buc-ee's. They're still open tonight. Let's go.
You know, they got 100 gas pumps, but it's a hell to get to a gas pump because the traffic's so bad.
This one's on the main interstate where
it
should be easy to get in and out of.
Yeah, this one I think they're the only thing on that side of the exit on that. I think it might even be a new exit. So this one's easy.
That's like the one in Florence. It's over on the it's on the outside of the belt loop or on the outside of 85.
See, I've seen some things on TikTok and other places that I haven't seen I haven't tried any of the apple pies yet. I hadn't tried the jerky yet.
Oh,
it's still early, Harlan. Let's go.
It's some apple
A
pie.
long ways over there.
But apple pie.
It's a
Apple pie.
But apple pie.
I'll break keto for that. Let's go.
Buc-ee's got sued by Georgia because they were selling their gas cheaper than they were paying for it.
Yeah, the one in Sevierville, cell in Tennessee, that's the largest one. That's going to be their largest one. So as of when it opens.
And so the CEO of Buc-ee said, let me explain something to you. We don't make money off of gas.
Yeah.
We make money off of all the other crap that's
We make money off of people buying beaver zip-up
nuggets,
onesies.
Beaver nuggets.
Okay, so Gary wants us to go live stream from Buc-ee's.
I did on my channel. I did that.
Yeah, we did that. That's old. We did that back 5 years ago.
That was
4 years ago. We did that from Texas. Yeah, Harlan went live on his channel when we were in Texas at the one. It's huge. I think it's the biggest one until this one opens. It's the one on 35 south of Dallas. That Buc-ee's is absolutely huge. It's got some other big ass one across the street from it. There's 2 huge gas stations on that exit.
It ain't Love's, is it?
The one
No,
that
no,
when we
no,
went to Florence, you would have swore it was it was 7 o'clock on Black Friday in that store. It was just full of people and filling up buggies full of crap, It was insane.
Yeah, Brian asked if Facebook is employing a lot of folks. They are. They're employing a lot. We got a Whataburger that's about to open right down the road from me, and they were walking down the sidewalk yesterday holding signs saying, "Come work for us." Everybody's competing for people to work.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they're 24 hours, Harlan. I think
They are
Whataburger.
24. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to open this week or next.
Are we going to do Tuesday night from Whataburgers? Can your gallbladder hold out for Tuesday night at Whataburger?
I haven't had any problem with the gallbladder. That's just it.
All right, then.
Scott, you were in the fast food industry. Let's make everybody in the store at least $15 an hour. How's that going to affect that?
I don't know how they're making money. Their costs are so high. You've got the 2 biggest costs in a restaurant like that are food and labor, and that's why the prices are. Go look at what it costs to eat it. Go eat a couple families and a couple combos and see if you can go and eat. There's only one fast food restaurant I know you can go order 2 combos and come out under $20. And most of y'all, unless you live in the South, you don't have this. You don't have this restaurant. Cookout's about the only place left you can go get a couple combos, couple trays for under $20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cost me $70 at Furniture Factory yesterday.
What?
That was a lot of drinks and other people's drinks and
Cocktails.
You can just about throw a few more dollars in it. You can go to a sit-down restaurant and have the Motisa bring you, the drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah, $70 at Furniture Factory. Did you get a recliner? What?
that was, let's see, 2 appetizers, 3 or 4 rounds of drinks. I bought some drinks for some of my friends. I don't know. It added up way too fast. Burger King is solid.
Burger King is on its way out. They've closed 3 Burger Kings here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the restaurants here advertise. The McDonald's advertise $15 an hour here or more.
Mr. Sadie, if you have a piece of land and you want to put a building up on it that meets the Dollar General specs, and you're not next door to another Dollar General store, they will put a damn store in there.
I've only seen Bonnie one time, and that was about, a year and a half ago.
It's been a while.
Me and Kevin ran into her.
That was like October. October was a year, I think.
It
It's
was
been a while.
3 months before he passed away.
Yeah.
Is Bonnie one of Harlan's former conquests or something?
That's the 80-year-old lady working at the state sale is trying to pick me up.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So weird. Yeah, she was like, what's your name? I said, Harlan. She goes, Harlan have a last name? I said, Tyree. She said, looks like that makes me Bonnie Tyree, doesn't it? And I'm like, oh.
Exit.
80. Then she's like, does Harlan have a wife?
Told you how to get him.
Well,
on
let's
here.
just do the math.
I can't do it justice like he does it. The one time that I'm not with them, I could have had the camera. We could have had that forever.
Oh my God.
God, that would have been awesome.
You'll have a time at state sales.
Yeah, that was
the one Friday. You picked up some good video games too, right? I mean, how did all these people go? I mean, this house was a digging place and it was a mess, but we were second.
It's about $50 laying there for $375.
Yep. I mean, we picked up such good stuff. Even but nobody's doing the media, so if you can sell DVDs on Amazon and you're not going to estate sales, at least looking at them in your area, what the hell?
And then I got three video controllers and the Nintendo Duck Hunt gun. All those were $375 a piece. Not too bad. Sticking with systems that I got.
So Scott, how can you learn how to sell on Amazon?
If there was only somebody who would spend a lot of time to make a course that you can learn this. And he was nice enough to put a link in the description for you.
Okay.
But it's absolutely amazing. I mean, there were people be getting movies and stuff when I got there, but I'm 3 hours late and I picked up all those Blu-rays. And then the next day, because we had bad storms Thursday, so they closed a few minutes early. I'm like, well, hell, I'll just go back. I'll go back the next day and buy the DVDs and bring the scanner with me because my phone's acting like a punk. And they were all still there. I mean, there was a guy in that room when I got to the room that Harlan was in. He was kind of looking at movies, and I walked right up, stuck the bag on the floor, and just started going bam, 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 dropping them in the bag, dropping it. He eventually went and did something else.
Now I was looking for good type. The dude was over there grabbing a bunch.
Yeah.
And I was trying to grab ones that I thought were going to be good for you. I didn't want any of them. I was trying to find Disney stuff that was sealed because he was going through there grabbing, and I'm like, dude. So I was grabbing stacks, just handing them to him. Here, check these.
If they're sealed, do you buy them? I mean, if they're sealed, do you automatically buy them or do you scan them first?
And I scan these at yard sales. Most of the time we're going so fast, I'll just buy them. But these I took since I had the time and I had the scanner in my hand charged up.
There was so many. I mean, he still bought over 200 sealed DVDs and Blu-rays, but he left a bunch of them because they would scan $6, $7, $8 on Amazon, and it's not worth it.
I mean, this is just part of a stack. They're all Disney because remember, the lady was she was a foster mom.
She had foster kids, but I mean, they're all sealed. They've never even been opened.
They're all sealed.
And then downstairs was toys, Fisher Price stuff from the 70s. They were crazy on prices, but she had everything.
Look, anybody want to see Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2?
No, I haven't seen Beverly Hills Chihuahua 1.
We don't, and they didn't want to see it either, obviously.
Apparently not.
Yeah. Yeah.
The V team.
That's the thing with the price of Blu-rays are higher than DVDs. I didn't scan the Blu-rays. I just grabbed the Blu-rays. $1. And this is the most expensive company. I picked up I've never even seen a CD player like this one. Let me see if I can find it. We'll do that one in a minute. Anybody remember this from the late 80s, early 90s? It's a Panasonic CD player with built-in speakers. If you ever see it, it's KXL D745. It's worth $100. I mean, I had to give $5 for it. But this one, I kind of tucked this under so she couldn't see it had extra stuff with it because it didn't have a price on it. It's got something called a sound CD-ROM interface card stuck on it by Panasonic. It's got the power supply with it, and that card runs into two things here. So I don't know what it's worth, but it's probably gonna get sold separate from the CD player. Anybody remember these things? What the hell is a?
That's funny.
Dave, you did all kinds of music. What's a sound CD-ROM interface card?
I mean, I think it's just like it's just MP3s.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like,
no. Look at it.
Is the sound what?
is it the sound card?
I think it goes in a computer. See there? I think you plug it.
Looks like yeah. That's weird. I don't remember anything like that. I mean, I'm assuming that's what it was. Just play
look how many
play MP3, you know? Like
look how many batteries it takes. Damn thing takes one. It takes 6 AA's.
damn.
Is Van Massey who the people that you do your auction through?
Yeah. And I picked up this new. Anybody want to guess what Mad Gab is worth? I mean, I had to pay $4 for it.
30
Somebody paid $19 on Walmart. That tells you how old it is. Remember when Walmart used to use those stickers?
Good.
All right, Mad Gab. How much are you?
Amazon seller says he thinks it's a PCMIA card.
So that's how much. There's your Mad Gab. That's how much it sells for. That's in collectible condition. Mine is brand new.
Well, that makes sense. What Scott's saying.
That's the only one on there.
Getting ready to be 2 on there.
No, this is but it's about to be. It's the only one new. The other one's used. This one's new. It was this kind of stuff. Okay, so there was a guy there. Harlan didn't see it. It was the day before. I told Tracy about it. T Flip's there in the chat. They didn't. All the board games were $4.
Carol said how much she didn't read it when you put it up, whatever you were showing.
It was 40.
The CD thing or whatever was 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, hey, so this game right here, that game. I'm not talking about a copy of this game. That fucking game right there, unopened right there, Zelda. The one in this picture. He got it. He got it for $4.
Oh my God.
I saw it in the box. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. He's like, yeah, we collect we collect games. He had a whole box of them. Look at the location. You don't collect shit, dude. I knew. Don't fucking lie to me.
Oh, he's already put it on there?
That's it. I'm not telling you it was a copy of it. I'm telling you it was that damn game. we collect board games. You don't collect shit. I saw you at another estate sale the next day.
That's like me saying I collect Benjamins, right?
Hey, I'm just impressed he's already got it listed.
I ran into him at the hallway at the MJ estate sale. You ain't gone to 2 estate sales and tell me that you collect. Brenda, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat.
That's funny.
Carol, if you look at us on the big screen, it'll make you even lonelier, darling.
Arthur wants to know if you've come in these zip drives.
What kind of zip drives? I just sold one. It's got to go. I sold a 250 gigabyte zip drive. I've got a Jazzy zip drive, and I've got a 100, I think, a blue one.
There's a teenager that lives not too far away from us. He does odds and end computer stuff for people, He's got like all 4 of the zip drives, and he transfers people's zip drives to the cartridges to DVDs for like $25 a pop. Because people, those damn things quit working, or they've lost the power cables or the connector cables for them, but they've got all these zip drives.
That 250 drive, I sold it on Amazon. I got $157 for it. It's only got a USB cable. Damn. Peace out.
Bailed out, huh?
But the guy has problems with UPS, so UPS sent it back to me, and the guy's been real nice telling me all about it. So I sent him a message. If just be kind, folks. I've got a disk drive that I've got $5 in that I'm getting $157 for. So the $4 for the UPS came back, and I'm gonna send it to him. I'm gonna send it to him priority on Tuesday with the post office because he doesn't have problems getting mail post office. This guy is over the. I'll tell you what he said. I sent him a message. He has sent me about how the trouble he's had. This is the response. If you treat people with kindness, this is what you get back. All messages. So he said, again, it's not your fault. Your response is well accepted. But I did wish you used UPS, even though and I told him back, hey, it made it back. Do you want me to send it out priority on Tuesday because Monday is a holiday, or do you need a refund? You are great. Yes, please send it. Thank you very, very, very much for your kindness. Appreciate it dearly. Blessings to you. Treat people. He was using this for something with his family. With these zip drives, and so I'll send it back out to him. So it'll cost me $5 extra. So what? Not everybody's out to scam you. When there are problems in this UPS for some reason. This guy is having a battle with UPS. UPS takes a label on top of the other label saying no such address. He's like, I've lived here forever. He said, I've called them. We've gone round and round. I've called everybody under the sun with UPS.
I think Todd, was that the package supposed to be sent through USPS or UPS? Todd had a situation where he bought some stuff and they printed out a tag for it, but they never got it. It never got to the like UPS or USPS's office to be dropped off.
Okay, so I agree with Todd on this one. I might have accidentally done that once or twice.
USPS. Well, they closed the sale on him, and because they said that there was a problem with his mailing address, and they never got it to the daggum post office.
Hey, if you do that in the hotel room, they'll accuse you of using power equipment.
I know.
Todd had a bad week last week. With all the money he has, I'd have just said screw the reselling.
Just set everything on fire and sat in a recliner.
It just seemed like he was one thing or another he was having problems with.
But see, you could tell it wasn't me, Todd, because I just sent you a nice message telling you that I hit your address by mistake. I apologize that I just happened to be out of it. Please accept my apology. And there you go. What are you shipping out, Harlan?
Hold on, I'll show you what I think.
I won't say this, and I'll probably regret it, but I've never had any problems receiving stuff from somebody that I bought on eBay. Even back in the old days, where you had to mail a check and wait for the check to get there, and then you had to wait for the check to clear. Most people would say, I'll mail it as soon as it clears.
Big boss man.
How much you get for him?
LJN from the 80s or 90s, I forgot.
Who is that?
Big Boss Man.
Oh.
How much Big Boss Man sell for, y'all?
I'm curious. 125.
Any guesses? Anybody else?
125.
How much?
125.
Nope.
No, higher? What?
Was he a wrestler?
Higher.
Yeah.
250.
I love Google.
240.
240? All right.
$12.97.
No, 240.
So what's so special about that one? Because somebody sold one that looks similar to it for.
This is from the 80s. It's the 12-inch 1989 Big Boss Man.
Well, somebody else got $279. Was that you?
Yeah, that was. I took the best offer.
Oh, I should have looked at the seller and known that was. View seller's other items.
Not many.
Well, Todd, them Duke people are crazy anyway. They're almost as bad as those Alabama people.
Yeah, there was a. So there was an auction.
Every time I list something, it sells.
Y'all just sell those other ones that are worth about $5,000.
I know. I got to work on that. Yeah, this guy here is $5,000 to $6,000.
Say that again.
That's
$5,000 to $6,000.
What is it?
5,000 to 6,000 right there.
What is it?
Is that a McDonald's toy?
Oh,
No, it's a 1993 Hasbro mail away. You had to mail off in the mail and get them, and they came in the bag just like that. That's the Undertaker. There was 3 in the series, so there's this one. And
If you only had the whole series.
I know, if only had the whole series. Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart. So they're about $8,000 to $10,000, probably closer to 10.
if you had all the whole set.
He's got them all. They just
Oh,
showed
he's
you.
got them all.
That is all of them. Yeah, those 3 are about $8,000 to $10,000. I just
Well,
got to
that kind of
figure
money,
out where I want to sell them.
So you had to mail off to get them, so they were harder to find, and then
Yeah, plus they're still in the
they're
bag.
still in the bag.
Yeah.
Dang. Is that from the same auction? I mean, same estate sale?
No, the same
no.
auction. It's
Oh.
the same auction. He got that other one he just sold for
Oh,
I've sold stuff for $3,000, $3,900. I've sold a lot of wrestling. This guy had a huge collection, and I've spent pretty good bit of money there.
That's the reason that 80-year-old lady was wanting does Harlan have a last name because he's making all this money.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary had a message for you.
Yeah, he wants to see a.
Rip the bag open. It's like, I
So you
got
can see it better. Can anyone can hear Jacob? No, Jacob's a mute.
What? No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's
Had a phone call.
Silverhair was in there going, "You need
Hey,
to
Morgan.
mute Jacob. He just won't shut up."
Y'all gotta realize that Jacob is a slumlord. Sometimes he has to take a phone call.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to print out things. Yes, I still do print some things. Property.
Oh, it ain't rich. You went to furniture factory. Furniture
Trying to-
factory is
Trying to
expensive.
split a property right now.
You trying to what?
Trying to split a property.
Ah,
And I'm trying to draw it out to where it's about 50-50 for 2 partners.
he's a slumlord. What's he got? Trailer parks?
No, he Reynolds and
Multifamily.
Multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
I have a buddy. He's got. I bet he probably has 5,000 mobile home spaces,
Wow.
and he'd buy parts and fix them up and get rid of the trailers at them. So he's just renting space.
Mm-hmm.
And he would start talking about those wobble boxes and whatnot. And his wife would just jump on his ass in a minute. She'd say, remember, those wobble boxes is why you get that 47-foot sailboat down in Charleston Harbor.
Yeah.
Those wobble boxes is the reason you've got, that top of the line Cadillac Escalade.
Yeah, we're running about 45 units right now. 20 of them I manage for others, and then I own the rest. I own 20 and I manage 5 single units and then 20 multifamilies that I manage but don't own.
Whereabouts are you at?
I'm on the Virginia-Tennessee line, right on Interstate 81.
Oh, okay.
Bristol, baby.
That's a hard job to be in right there.
What's that?
That management business.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's
my kind of game.
My neighbors over here, they have like 10 rental houses. And they're all over on the Ballantine side of Charlotte. So everything goes for a premium over here. Because all these yuppies making all this big bucks over here in Ballantine, they want to live close by. Anyway, they've got this one house. So they got this one house. And they rented it to a stripper.
Mr. Sadie.
They rented it to a stripper. And she always paid her rent on time. And she always took care of the place. The next door neighbor that they knew over there called and said, your house is on the TV. There's like 12 police officers in your front yard over here at the rental house. And Tammy said they turned on the TV, and apparently there was a hostage situation going on in there. A boyfriend, a friend of hers who was also a stripper's boyfriend was over there and was holding them hostage. And Tammy said that that's her husband, said, well, that new roof we just put on it looked really good because the helicopter was circling over it. The new roof looks really good. And Tammy said, God only knows what they're getting ready to go through the front door.
Mm-hmm. Now, Todd, if I only had as many stacks as you have, I did have a cash for gold business, and we did buy a lot of coins from the public, and I still have a fair amount of them, but not nearly the amount that you've got stacked. So.
Yeah, well, Todd's got that oil well in his backyard. He just goes on and flips on when he needs.
He just goes and turns it on.
Because if you're in Texas, everybody's got an oil well in their backyard.
Maybe Todd, maybe one day I'll show you the shipwreck coin that I have. That's really probably the only thing I bought the entire time I had those businesses that I got attached to, and I will never sell it.
Which shipwreck
coin?
The El Cazador shipwreck.
I
have a MS something. It's pretty good quality. 62 or 3 or something like that. It's not perfect, but it's very, very, very. I mean, there's nothing on it that you can't read.
Right.
I bought one that day. Me and Scott was at the yard sale. They were moving. Where were they moving to? Some Caribbean island or something. They were selling everything, and I looked over there, and it's like, oh my gosh! It had it was a little wooden chest, and it had a little pillow on it, and it had a silver bar, and up in the top it said, "I told ya," and I was like, I know what this is. And that guy, I said, how much is this? He goes, my mom buys me stuff all the time. And it was a little silver bar thing made from the Atocha. $2.
Wow.
And I sold it for $350 or $400.
Wow.
Atocha silver.
When I used to scuba dive, one of the guys I dove with a lot, they went, it might have been, I don't remember what the name of the wreck was, but it was down in the Caribbean, and they found all this gold and whatnot. He went down there and he dove for about 2 months with them as they were recovering all these doubloons and whatnot. And he did it for free, but the day he was leaving to fly out, they gave him a couple of the coins that they had found. Wow. It was in the paper a lot. The guy's family, a couple of the members of his family had died while they were recovering it, doing the recovery and whatnot.
Is your brother being held hostage? Is that what he's saying, Scott?
I'm not asking him any questions because I don't want to know the answers.
He just got married. How can it be held? How's he held hostage already?
He just sent me a text. Don't ask him no questions. Don't ask him no fucking questions. I know how his mind works.
It's dirt, Jacob. Dirt's a good thing to have.
Yes, they don't seem to make more of it.
No.
I'm trying to think if I had a picture of the coin, but I don't see it in my.
Roberta was looking. My wife was looking through real estate for sale, large tracts of land for sale in South Carolina, and she said, she was all excited. She said, here's 1,800 acres in Johnson County, South Carolina, for $875,000. And I said, and you've not already told them that it's sold? And she said, well, I wanted you to look at the ad first to see if we're interested in it. And then I started looking at it, and I said, baby, that is for 1/7 of that tract of land. Just 1/7 of it. And she said, oh, I didn't see that, or I didn't understand that. I said, they're selling shares of it because it was set up for like a retreat. It had all kinds of deer stands, and they had planted crops for turkeys and stuff like that.
Right.
And because she'd want a house right in the damn middle of it.
So Brian, he got the van. It's about 95% complete, but he's got a couple of repairs to make. The compressor on the air conditioner died already. That company went out of business, even though it was under warranty. So he's had to buy another one. The only place he could get it was from China, and they made him buy 2 of them. And so that's got to get done. He's got a couple of odds and ends things to do, but power's in, water's in, everything's in, all the cabinets, everything's in. Just some small stuff. He said that I get the air conditioner fixed Tuesday.
Oh, he's putting up a video this week. He said a van update.
Yeah, they're about to. In April, they are going to. I think they're starting off in Key West. They're going to hook the boat up and drive down to Key West, and then they're going to spend however long they want traveling around wherever the fuck they want. Because
I love my wife, but I don't know whether I want to be kept in a confined space with her for extended periods of time.
you can do just like I would do. Honey, I'm going to go for a walk. You want to go? Nope. All right, I'll be back.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Kevin don't go anywhere anymore. Kevin's got the land, and his buddy is fighting cancer, which he's fighting. His friend helped him get through cancer. Now he's helping his friend, but his friend's got a bigger battle with pancreatic cancer. That's the one you don't want to have to battle. For sure.
Yeah, I learned something from this little spell I had. You guys, as you're getting older, you need to start seeing the doctor and getting all the tests run, and because
I
had 100% blockage in one of my arteries, and I had, until I was watching Scott's Thursday night show when it hit me. Roberta blames it on him.
Roberta, like I excited him, he could have died in his sleep. I saved his life.
That's right.
Saying something that got him all excited.
And so y'all really, and I don't want to sound like one of these people, these people that smoked for all these years and then they quit and then now they know everything about smoking. I just telling you need to.
Man, mine are clear. They did a cath on me, a heart cath, I don't know, a couple years ago. Everything is clear.
You know what? And I'm really surprised at that, Scott. As many years as you were in fast food industry, and you probably your 14-hour shifts, you had to eat something. So
you listen to all them. So just think about how bad it is. So we not only is our government crooked, but the lobbyists are just as fucking crooked, because back in the 60s, they paid the government and the agencies to come up with the food pyramid. And we were all taught this food pyramid that turns out it's probably exactly opposite. They wanted to make fat the enemy. They wanted to make, low calorie and sugar and all this and carbs. And look what they've done. Go look at pictures from the 70s and the 60s, 70s. People are normal sized people. Yeah. You go look at and then look around today at these supersized people that wander around here.
Because they eat fast food. We didn't have fast food. We had garden in the backyard. We
had mama's cooking.
Yeah, we ate mama's cooking. Green beans, corn.
I mean, that meant a lot of. Joni learned from her grandmother. You know how much butter that woman cooks with?
Fat back, all that kind of good stuff.
And how little vegetable oil was used.
We didn't have. We was outside. We didn't have video game systems until the mid '80s. We were on our bicycles and stuff. I'd ride.
Even then, we had. Are we calling Pong a video game system? Shit.
Well,
got him.
Let's move further back a little bit of time span. During the summer, we got up and we ate breakfast. Yeah,
that's from Utah.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. She's such a witch. We got up in the morning and we had breakfast during the summer when I was a little kid, and we went out and we played till lunchtime, and then we came in and had lunch, and then we went back out and we played until it was time for dinner. And kids don't even go out the house now.
The Soda Can collectibles, you're 100% correct. A lot of it's the food we eat is so processed now. Yeah. It's not, it's you've got to eat real food. Just
my grandma carried sausage patties in her purse. Grandma, can I have some? Here, baby, hold on. I got you a sausage patty in my purse.
I'm just doing truffles and sausage patties now. That's it.
And it's somebody wanting to sell you something, so they pay a lobbyist to go make the government force it down your throat.
See, I think a lobbyist should be illegal.
I was watching something the other day, and they were calling people, asking whether they fry their wings in, and it was all soy. They got the Buffalo Wild Wings, and they said beef tallow. I'm like, I don't like their politics, but I'll go eat their wings just because they cook them in the good stuff. When I first started fast food, everything was beef tallow. That's why French fries back. If you didn't live in the 80s and know McDonald's French fries before the 80s and before 1990,
they're not the same.
You just think, McDonald's fries are the best. They ain't shit compared to what they used to be.
Yeah.
When they were cooked in beef tallow instead of this ridiculous shit we cook stuff in now. Because of the trans fats.
Grandmother fried everything, lived to 99. Mine lived to 95. See, it eventually gets them. 95, 98, 99. See, took them out.
McDonald's, Jack in the Box, all of those are mama's cooking now. Bye, babe.
I could have talked to Roberta. Damn.
No, that was my my youngest son. He's gone. The one that got married back in November. He's headed home. He's been over spending time with her mama because his wife's a nurse and she works at night.
But it's about what you put into it, I'm not a big organic person, but I'm a big. You got to figure out what it is. Start looking at a label. Salute the pig. Let's hear it for the Lord. Information cancel. So everything, just be very, very slow to judge someone about their lifestyle, about what they eat, because you truly don't know what's good and what's bad right now. They Dr. Atkins, they damn near crucified that man, and turns out he slipped and fell and hit his head and killed him. Nothing else. He was, the Atkins diet, which is now, the keto is a version of it. And now look at all the rage and what happens if you do the carnivore diet, and look at some of the studies that are being done and the numbers these folks are getting, and it's amazing. You start eating what we're designed to eat, and I'll eat a Twinkie like anybody else, but have you ever looked at the damn ingredients of what's in a Twinkie?
100% deliciousness. I'll eat a hot dog too, but have you seen that?
Yeah, I watched somebody last night. This what's the Bear the Voice on TikTok? He said he was cooking them in his semi truck, and he said I'm gonna put these. I bought ballpark pranks. He goes, don't even go to the comments because I don't give a fuck. I said hot dogs. I meant hot dog.
Carol Bargain Shopping says, I got to lose weight, but just know skinny Carol is bitchy, not as nice as fat Carol is.
When was fat Carol nice? Did I miss that part?
You got to have everything in moderation. When I was a little kid, we didn't eat out. Maybe my mom's birthday, we would eat out. We didn't eat at fast food restaurants. There was McDonald's in Charleston. And the only reason I know McDonald's was in Charleston is because I was a Cub Scout and we got a little coupon booklet. And every month we got a free item. So once a month we made a trip to McDonald's and we kind of had it splurged. If I was getting a free ice cream, then my brothers got a free ice cream. If I was getting a free cheeseburger, then they got a cheeseburger too. But we just didn't eat out. And if I could cook like my mom still does, I would never eat out.
And if you want to look at our food supply and go look at what the rest of the world won't allow them to have that we freely eat in the U.S. It's different colors, food coloring, food additives. There's a lot of foods in the U.S. that are banned throughout the rest of the world because of what the ingredients, their particular ingredients that have been caused whatever. It's in Mountain Dew, one of them, because of the color of Mountain Dew. I think Mountain Dew is one of them. But there are quite a few. You like the yellows and the reds, especially.
Yeah. Red dyes a lot.
Red number 10.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's half the food that we eat has red number 10 in it.
Mambo number 5 too. That's not a good one.
And they used to say to kids,
get that?
I got it.
And they said, all these dyes were causing these kids to have ADD and all that kind of stuff.
But it's even things as simple as milk. What we allow in our milk is not allowed in the rest. A lot of the stuff is filtered out for the rest of the world that's in the U.S. Go do some research on the food that's allowed to eat here versus, and it's all because of lobbyists, and they have convinced. How long did the tobacco industry convince the world that cigarettes didn't cause cancer?
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, none of the boys had beards and mustaches. Maybe a little bit of a mustache. Now you look at 14 and 15-year-old boys, and they got full damn beards. Scott is nothing compared to some of these boys. What the hell are they putting in the food?
Fruit Loops banned in most countries. What the what?
Oh, I had a mustache. And
because of
That's
the
my
color.
favorite.
Because of the colors.
Yeah.
That's racist.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. You give me a box of Fruit Loops and a gallon of milk. Oh, it's bad.
It'll
Yeah.
destroy your gallbladder.
But I don't eat cereal anymore, and I don't drink milk anymore. So
That shit'll kill your gallbladder.
I know. I've already. I got to start eating good this week. I started this weekend. My A1C is 6.6.
I just want you to know I've been a good influence. I never stopped eating good since the second.
I know.
I've had two cheat days since the second. Because
your wife's not going to like that when she finds out.
She was there at one of them, or maybe both of them. There is no way in hell I'm going to Rosie's and not eat. I got it. There's no way in hell I'm not going to eat what I want to eat at Rosie's.
I wasn't talking
where?
about food.
Yeah, I know. Rosie's it's the best Mexican place in town.
Okay.
Is that where we went that day?
What?
Is that where we went that day? I was driving through Harlan and Scott.
Was that Rosie's? That was.
I don't remember. I just remember it was good.
Yeah, I think it was Rosie's.
They got the kind of patio or whatever. They made it for a patio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was.
That's not a chain.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
like a local.
Yeah, they have 3 restaurants here in town.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I remember them because I remember trying to figure out which one I was trying to go to.
Yeah, it's outstanding. And I forget, what did I eat the other one? Well, it was your fault. You made me go to gas station Mexican on Tuesday night instead of eating my wings.
You cheated again. You're just Tony's gonna be pissed.
Scott C says Dave had a mustache in the 4th grade.
Here we go with this guy again. Scott C. I think if he's going to talk that much smack, he should just come on the show.
Put the link in the chat, but you mean Super Shy Boy?
Yeah,
Super Shy,
man. Jump in the mix.
Go dog go. Yeah, it just seems like vegetables and fruit just goes bad so fast these days.
By the
But
way,
then
Scott,
again, I'm old and things seem to be moving along quick anyway. So
Scott,
don't
did you
buy
verify
those.
the issue with the Amazon approval, like where it gives you the error on the mobile app, but you can go to the website?
Yes, it does it to Harlan all the time. It does it every now and then to me, but because Harlan, I tell you, we'll be out somewhere and I was like, "Did you get approved?" He goes, "I don't know. It's all screwed up. I have to do it when I get home."
Yeah,
it does it now. It comes up with a whole huge thing now. It's completely different. It's a huge thing explaining you cannot get ungated on your phone.
Oh, okay. So they've actually updated it finally.
Mine actually comes up and it used to just give an error, but now it comes up and says you cannot get ungated using your mobile device.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Brenda says
on certain items.
Oh,
no.
not
Okay,
everyone.
go ahead and tell us.
You
Scott.
wouldn't let me do any of it.
Mine doesn't do it on every item. Mine does certain items. It allows me. I haven't seen the message Harlan's gotten, so
I like it when you find a new one. It's like, challenge.
Right. Basically, it's the one that if you go back into your online account on the website, the Wholesaler Central account, anything that has a $sign in front of it, because you have to watch the video and have to.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to watch the video and answer the questions, and you can't do it on the mobile.
Oh, no wonder. Well, that might explain something.
Brenda said Harlan had a mustache once, then his ex rode away with it. Dude, did she take you to the cleaner or something?
No. No, we split everything 50-50 and went our separate ways.
So Google is not as smart as you think it is, because Google. I don't know if y'all have seen this or not, but so you're on photos. This is Apple's photo. It'll search by people. So, it knows Harlan by these 14 photos. But I'm looking for Harlan with a mustache. It don't know Harlan with a mustache is the same as Harlan with no hair. Same thing as Joni. So it'll pick out Joni when she had cancer, those pictures, but it won't pick out Joni with hair in the neck.
That's weird.
Yeah. Very.
I'm too sexy for your phone. Too sexy for your phone.
I need to give it a name, then it'll pick you up.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah, see it? Scott, can
I
you see
can't
it?
quite read it, but yeah, it looks like what I saw on my side.
Can you see it, Scott?
Can you see it, Harlan?
I've seen a picture all my life.
I'd already read it.
Okay.
Harlan was a slick devil there.
I had a mustache until I was in my 30s. Harlan had a beard last week.
Yeah, Amazon, you just got to keep messing with it. A lot of the stuff, if it tells you go do it on the computer, go do it on the computer.
Yeah.
Because it can be as simple as watching the videos, like Jacob said. It's
Have you ever seen a catalog authorization application type?
No.
I just got one of those for a brand that I already sell, and I'm a little concerned.
Thanks, Carol. I can't go back to that point, but thank you.
Scott, are you doing much with the Amazon, the video program?
I currently have someone in the chat gave me 12 videos or 11 videos, so I put them up. I've sold some of that stuff. I'm currently 9% of clicks. So Johnny and I are shooting 3 videos tomorrow. I'm thinking about like $90 in the first 3 weeks on affiliate money.
Right.
I'm opening it up right now. So I've had 686 clicks on the videos, sold 62 items at $3,800. My commission is $81, and there's been 4 items returned. So my video that I had the most sales was I sold 8 of the chargers, the whatever it is, this MagSafe charger on my dash, that a wireless charger. I made a video on that in the car, in the van, and it sold 8. But now, since Scott C gave me all the videos off his channel, I've sold 13 sets of vice grips. Yeah, and those are $337 worth of wire strippers from Vice Grip. I've sold 4 Instapod coffee pots. That's $719 in coffee pots. That's the biggest dollar amount. But it's I just got to dedicate myself to making more videos. I really need to, go back to what I was doing at 6 videos a week. Like yesterday, there was 38 clicks, earned $5. Most days average $4 to $5.
Well, you're just going to have to start assigning a certain day to be video day. And
now the next thing I need to do too is, I'm trying to figure out what around the house to keep you doing. Now that I've done it for almost a month, I'm staying at a steady 9%, which is a pretty good. So now I can, John is going to put me in his millionaire group and have them send products if they want me to do it. I just won't charge for it. Just, hey, send the product. I'll give you an honest review of the video. I'm currently 9% of the people who watch the video buy the product that I make a video about. And so, it's just an extra way for the cost of one item for somebody to get a video on their product.
Right.
So I gotta come up with a prospectus or whatever it is, just showing what kind of success I've had so far, and what I can do for people. Because I think moving forward, it's a good idea. It's a good concept.
You ought to do what you ought to do. Just a generic, not a generic. You need to do a video about it from a realistic point of,
Right.
You're also a reseller, because there are so many videos out there about that program,
Mm-hmm.
and that's got several 100,000 hits on it. On
The problem is everybody can't qualify for it, because you've got to be an influencer somewhere.
That's
And there's not a specific number. They are looking for an active audience, and
Right.
and so.
But they're just really generic type videos. They don't really get into that. It is difficult to get into the program, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of hits off of it. You need to do getting into the real Amazon, or the real facts behind the Amazon program.
So Gary, it's the coffee maker. It's the Insta, whatever it's called. Hold on, I'll look. It's the one, Instapod is what it's called. It's the one that'll do. It'll do coffee and it'll do espresso pods. It's the one that we personally use. Joni made that video. We actually personally use that one, and she did it. I need to redo that video. She did the video vertical, and it needs to be in landscape mode. But she does it. She comes across very, very nice in videos because she likes talking about the products she actually uses. So I think on the other channel, I've only got one video up so far, but I think she did a better than average job of showing you how to use the Zote soap and how good it did cleaning our brushes.
Right. Well, she's a lot better looking than you are too. So.
Well, she's not. All you see is her hands. You don't see anything else.
Oh, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I've not even looked at any of them.
She's a hand model.
Oh, she's gonna be stealing Todd's gig then.
Yep. Todd's out of business.
Look out, Todd. But so that's a lot. So I started talking earlier when we talked about FBA. Somebody asked me how many shipments. That's that's the great example of why am I trying to get all this stuff back into FBA again? Because if I'm spending 2 to 3 hours every Monday, Wednesday, Friday shipping, how many videos, how many other things am I not being able to do because of just shipping, which should be Amazon should be doing for me.
Yeah, not having to deal with it. And do you get that? Do you really get that based on the number of sales that you have on Amazon? Do you really get that many returns off of it? I'm talking about returned items, not financial returns.
No. My average returns are 1 to 1.5% any month, so not very much.
Because I think a lot of people have the idea that Amazon, you just call them up and tell them, and you send stuff back to them. So I think a lot of people have a feeling that they'll just get a lot of returns.
So I've got I bought the 22 packs of Kotex.
Yeah,
they ain't coming back. This leaked too much. I don't like this. That's a discontinued item that they're buying. They're spending extra money for it. They know exactly where they're getting. That ain't coming back. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
It's I just gotten comfortable doing it at home, and I just and I've settled for allowing myself to feel like I'm busy instead of doing things I need to do to advance, take business where, I need to learn YouTube ads. I need to learn Facebook ads so I can start advertising. I've spent a lot of time with this class. I'm not doing any advertising for it yet. I've still got a couple more sections I want to add to it, but I need to be learning these things so that, all the effort that I put into an Amazon course, teach people how to do retail arbitrage, that I can get it out to people who don't normally just watch the videos. Most people, like 75 right now, or I would venture most of them are fairly competent in what they do. So if that makes the money, Carol, I sold a $40 bra this week. What are you talking about? I'm all right with that. I was the only one with this Playtex bra. Where is it at? So I sold that bra for $11.60. I sold a pair of socks for $12. I sold some little girls' underwear for $14. I don't care. And the bra actually canceled, so I had to relist the bra. Bitch.
Man,
Or dude, I don't care. I don't hate.
she didn't even give it a shot.
Whoever wants to wear it.
She was supposed to put it on, then send it back so you can make a video.
Right.
Oh, here's some more. Here's another. Now here it is. Here's another. This Playtex Ultimate Lift and Support. I got $33.88. I didn't click to the second page. Another pair of socks. Another bra. Another Playtex $17.88. Another Playtex $34.88. I'll sell bras. Let's go. I sold some Band-Aids. $13.88 for a box. I don't know who told me to buy the Minion Band-Aids, but I sold another one. Minion Band-Aids.
Carol says, yeah, bigger size bras are expensive.
Big money.
I would tell you what now. I probably sound like a 13-year-old boy, but there's some big old bras at Walmart. On the end caps, you're walking down there, you're like, my God.
I like big bras.
So really, you gotta all these systems are out there. You've got to really examine what works for you. Don't lose sight of being busy versus working smart. And I fall victim to that just like anybody else does. And so take advantage of, FBA is a good thing. I'm not going to send out everything FBA. I've got some hazardous materials I'm probably going to keep here, hazmat, even though I could send it in. So health and beauty stuff that goes really fast, I'll just keep here. But for the most part, like I could have listed all those movies or start listing them tomorrow, and they start selling tomorrow. I don't want to ship all those damn movies. I've been shipping movies. You think, well, you just throw it in a bubble wrap. But so I've got 220 plus the other 200 or 300 I've got over there. You sell one title. Now you've got to start looking through it. So how much time do I spend looking through all the DVDs to find the right one? And so, that part of the equation, I wasn't considering. And so Amazon needs one of the little robots to go pick it up and throw it in the mailer, just like I can. So that I can be making videos about, I don't know, this microphone here. I think I've got one about the mouse here. I love this mouse. This phone case, even though I've got the camera closed. I use Spigen. That's a company I've used. I bet I bought 30 of their phone cases over the years. They're an online only company, but they put this one out that covers the camera. So when you lay it down, you don't scratch it. Because I've broken this one. You can see where it's broken. And it's broken. The camera glass itself is broken. Like there's a little slice through it. So how many people know that they make an iPhone camera case like this now? They've made it for a couple of years that physically covers it. How much when it's in your pocket, it's always scraping against something. So it's eventually going to take worse pictures. You're going to scratch the lens or do something to it.
Which one is your daily driver? The Apple or the iPhone?
iPhone.
The iPhone.
Yeah. That's another one. So I spend a lot of time, trying to force myself to use a Samsung phone, which I like better with all my other Apple products because I have, the computer I'm on right here. This one, John actually sent me this computer. He's downsizing. It's got a broken screen. He's like, after the show, he's like, I need to donate this thing. You think they take it with a broken screen? I'm like, I know who'll take it. I'll take it. He said, would you really use one with a broken screen? I'm like, I've got a monitor right here. I'm using a broken screen right now. So he was nice enough to. It's a 2018 MacBook. He sent it to me. But if you do it on the phone, it puts it on the computer. So you're seeing the same thing. You're not fighting with it. Right. If I want to drop, like I was shooting video with it today, and I tell it to drop it, it puts it on the computer. It'll put it on the one in the house. If I make a note in the note section, it'll put it on the notes on all these computers. I've got 4 MacBooks. It'll put them on all of them, but it'll put it on this phone. It puts it on this phone. Anything that's got my account tied to it, it puts it on all of them. And so the redundancy, trying to build systems so that it saves me time. How do you make yourself use checklists and use reminders? If every device you've got reminds you the same way, it's much easier than trying to build lists on, well, I'm only using my phone. Well, what if I don't look at my phone today? My computer's got it. My iPad's got it. So it's been, they've got spreadsheets built in for free. So you don't have to use Microsoft Outlook because they've got Keynote for PowerPoint. So that you get everything for free on this computer. So I should be using all these systems.
I've been teaching. Your video editing. Do you use the Apple video editor? Because everybody says that's a really good.
Final Cut Pro is the one I use. It's theirs. And so when the nice thing about Apple is they don't care how many devices you've got on. First thing I did when I started setting this one up, I downloaded Final Cut Pro and I've edited a couple videos out here on this one. The same program as the one inside. Apple doesn't care. It's very nice.
Because I soon got to get another phone, and I'm thinking about going to an Apple from an Android.
The nice thing about it, Tom, is it does. You don't have to make it do things. It does a lot of things for you. So some people like that. Some people don't. Some people. I'm a kind of person that I'd rather make the phone do it, but I can get used to the way it works. It's just as fast. It's just as nice. So what?
It just gets kind of complicated sending, like you were talking about, you've got a PC, Windows-based PC, you got an Android phone. You can do it, but it just takes a lot of time to get everything set up.
If you're in there,
between the two of them.
The strength of Apple, and it works for reselling, it works for life in general. Their strength is their ecosystem. Once you get in it and learn it, it's all built together. So even though the MacBook and phone don't run on the same operating system, they're so close. Everything looks the same. When I look at it, it all works the same. Notes and reminders and all the functions look identical as you're looking at them. So it's very easy. It's very seamless to go from one to the other. I like it. How many times are you working on the computer and you think of something, and I'd have to go to my Galaxy phone and put it in there because that's what I use, and I want to remind me. But I'm on the computer and I just bring up the same program on the computer, type in the computer, and I know it's typing on the phone, or it's going to send it to the phone. It's been my routing program, the one I use to route on trips, on yard sales. Yeah. Only worked on iPhone, so I was having to carry the broken one around and tether it to my phone. It was just another headache to have to deal with.
Well, it's 10:46 for me. I've got to get out of here.
Yeah, I need to too. I got to use the bathroom too. I drank 2 bottles of water. My teeth are floating, so they say.
So thanks for having me on with you.
Yeah, so we're gonna do this on Sunday nights. We'll talk about reselling. We'll talk about life. We'll talk about whatever the chat wants to, because you guys are. I like hanging out with you guys, and anything anybody's welcome on the chat. Just we ask that you wear clothes and don't show body parts. Other than that, come tell us your opinion. You don't have to agree with us. I mean, state your case. I mean, I'd like to hear different. I'll leave you with this thought. People ask you, why do you teach people? Why do you want to make a course? Why do you want to have a Facebook group that's active, especially with newer people? You'll be amazed that if you've looked at something the same way over and over, and somebody who's never done it before will ask you a question and goes, well, how come we don't do it like this? It'll blow your mind. The simplicity of something that you don't see because you're stuck in your ways, it'll blow your freaking mind. So, yeah, fill the bottles. Yeah, I'm going to go reverse fill the bottle. That's what I'm going to do.
All right.
All right, everybody have a, what's the next holiday? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Roll Tide.
Tomorrow.
Georgia, you may be the back-to-back defending champions, but damn if you didn't get your ass kicked in basketball. Roll Tide.
Have a good one.